Good afternoon. We have the B-side final of the 1550. We have Balls and Holes and Undaunted. Let me pull up the player sheet here. Balls and Holes, we have Turner Reed, Paul Guerrero, and Chad Raswick. On Undaunted, we have Drew Onderko. Forgive me if I butchered that. Billy Sells and Lloyd. Here at the table right now, we have Paul breaking against Billy. Apologies there. Had table question on a different table. Back to the action. All right, Paul coming back deep in the pocket here. Long and fairly straight look at this three. It's going to be a little nervy because you're going to have to put either very little pace or a lot of fair amount of pace to get passed up by the six. The six ball is definitely playing in his mind as he's having to make this tough shot. How's it going to finish? It's going to finish pretty awkward. I think you can clip across the three into the seven, running two rails. Oop, let's get to the straight line option. He's going to want the cue ball coming off of this second rail. You know, maybe with some speed into here, using the five ball as cover. Really thinning this off to kind of create, trying to get behind the five, leaving the three there. Oh, tried kind of going the other way and caught the three too thin. Now Paul's going to be looking at how to solve these last six balls. Five to the six is going to be the trickiest part of this rack. Six to the seven isn't easy either. Everything is open, but have a fair amount of cue ball movement. Yeah, it's kind of dealer's choice on which side of the five ball he wants to get onto for the bottom corner pockets. I think he does pretty well here. Pretty flat. I think if we're to draw an ideal line, it's to kind of come along here and run straight back up for the six. Very nicely done by Paul. Great stroke, smooth, good speed. Really in good position to get out of this rack now. Doesn't want to get too flat on this 7, so I think stopping like somewhere up in here would be the most ideal. Even this smaller angle is still okay. You can just kind of stun forward. He elected to draw the ball. Gets on a great line. Paul's really in great position here to close out this first rack at the table. On table 4, Drew is on the 9 ball. Both 9 balls being shot nearly simultaneously here to make it 1-1 if they both go. Nicely done. I'm a little confused as to why Chad is racking up. Took a picture of Monsunar.
How you doing?
Doing good.
What's the score? First game?
Score is going to be 1-1 as soon as it's updated.
Ooh, they haven't
All right,
done
I'll be one more sign up for this mini tournament. One more player to sign up for this mini. There you go.
Just give me a second, okay?
Okay. Now, we got a little. Yeah, they're catching up to the player sheet here. Chad's supposed to be breaking first. Looks like he's going to be moving over to table 4 to be breaking off of Lloyd's rack. Turner, air quotes, racked for Billy. All right, Billy lays down a nice break. Gets a look at the 1. Trying to orientate myself to see if this 2 ball goes past the 4. If it does, it is going to be quite a tight shot. A lot of distance on the 1 with it also being kind of straight. Kind of like almost doing a little bit of a punchier stroke to get the 1 to track here and maybe out along this line near the spot. If it doesn't go past the 4, you can also kind of throw the 1 ball in and with some outsider draw. Tough opening shot to a tight 2 ball. Does very well. Three ball is laying in a little bit of a precarious position just because it's hard to get it to run past the 4 and then taking the 3 in that side by the 9. I think that tight position was weighing on his mind. Mind you also that Balls and Holes is just coming off of a match, so Undaunted is going to take a little getting comfortable. They've been kind of waiting for this match for a period of time, whereas Balls and Holes is going to be coming off of a win comfortable.
Table 45, Richard Phillips and Travis Ferguson. Travis Ferguson and Richard Phillips, table 45.
Turner here is looking in good shape. Gonna just need to fade the. Oh, He liked the bank there. After that bank, I wonder if he's going to be taking on this 5-ball back along this line of a bank. Yeah, it was pretty close to the rail, so it double kisses. Amon joined us briefly, but got called for a mini. Now, Billy's going to be considering taking on a cut or a bank here, depending on which way he likes to shoot it. Goes for the bank, gets it down. Nice shot. Cue ball falls a little awkward. Just because I think should be okay without just awkward being on the rail, slight cut angle. Cue ball is going to be kind of tracking along this way, coming across the 9 a little bit funny. I think he might play it with a little touch of inside. I think if he was off of the rail a little bit, he would draw. Yeah, he's wanting to elevate to get a little bit of a holding the cue ball pattern.
Joshua and Zach, table 48. Zach, you're going to 6. Joshua, you're going to 2.
Oh, Turner's assessing this. Looks like Chad's in position on the last 4 balls over on table 4. This is a thin cut. Cue ball can be a little bit more difficult to control the speed. Oh, just barely undercuts it. These shots are always so deceptive. Like being right in the hole, it's obviously very easy to pocket it, but your cue ball, tiniest little bit of margins can change everything. Oh my goodness. That is brutal. That catches this point here, and it's going to come out real nice for the 9 in the side. But unfortunately, it finds the pocket. Oh, Chad did not get out of his rack over on table 4. So with Lloyd pocketing this 9, it is going to be 2-2. Once they update the scores. All right. We'll see who walks to the table because we're going to have 2 new sets coming in. It's going to be Lloyd racking for Paul and Drew, or excuse me, Paul racking for Lloyd and Chad racking for Drew. We'll see which table we get. So we got Paul racking for Lloyd here. This is the B-side final. I misspoke on the last one. They are playing for 3rd place. Or whoever loses here will get for 3rd place. The winner will be going on to the final. Wow. 3 balls down plus the cue ball. Balls land in a W-shaped pattern, almost like looks like a drill a little bit. The 4 and the 6 are going to kind of require some precise cue ball to stay in shape. We'll see how Paul figures how he wants to solve this rack. Imagine taking the 1 ball and kind of getting close to center table. For the 2 would be wide error margins. I think he wanted to be just a little bit further over here. I could be mistaken. It looks like he is very straight in. And if he is, or fading towards the left side rail. Oh, he did have a little angle there. Perfect shot. See how he likes to shoot the next one. He could stay low side, rolling the cue ball up into the 9 or right beneath it to draw up for the 7. Or he could run between the 9 and the 6. Kind of get up above it. It's really kind of how he sees it. Loading up with inside, which makes me think he's wanting to stay low, right into the 9. As close as he is to the ball in the pocket, he should be able to kind of manipulate the pocket a little bit and kind of, he's going to be looking to draw it along this line, ending right near the, oh, he may have been so straight that he's just taking it straight up. Keeping it simple. I like it. This 9 balls and hole is going to get to 3. Chad's over at the table trying to see the lay of the land. Looks like he's got a long look at the 5 ball. In this table, we got Lloyd racking for Turner.
Tonight's action is powered by partners who elevate every rack. EvoSports International, building leagues, events, and fair play worldwide. Savage billiard apparel, performance jerseys that feel pro and look legal. Jay Flowers, precision crafted cues, delivering a smooth stroke and fierce results. Diamond billiard tables, the tour standard for roll true lightning fast play. Great.
Of course, I chose the longer one. I'll do a little bit better next time on the choice there. Didn't want to miss the break for Turner. Gonna be a nice wide open break. Gonna be a little bit of a tester, being a slightly elevated to hold the cue ball there for the 2. He could choose to stay at level cue and roll forward, take a little bit more distance. A little bit of a pressure shot coming from Chad over here too. Off angle into the side. Coming around with the cue ball. Going to get a little short on the 9 ball. Lloyd coming in. Chad does overcut the 9, but plays it pro side, leaves it tough. Drew's coming to the table looking at a bank shot over on table 4 while Lloyd's kind of figuring out this rack. Let's see how that 9 situation solves itself over on 4. Wow. Clutch shot from Drew, table 4. Ties it back up 3-3. Here we go. Lloyd figuring out what he wants to do with this 2 ball. What a nice cut from Lloyd. Can't see what's happening with the cue ball just yet. Got a pretty good look at 3 in the side. Gonna have to kind of negotiate the 5 ball a little bit. Being on the rail, I don't think he's gonna jack up to try and hold it. But he might, just because running into it gets a little bit unpredictable exactly how that's going to turn out. I think if he can slightly come across the right-hand side and kind of chip the 5 towards that corner and stay in a semblance of in line. Oof. He's okay. Wasn't sure how that 6 ball was going to come into play. Lloyd is negotiating this rack very well. This is a little bit of a tricky shot from the 5 to the 6. A little bit of a blind pocket with some pace. Maybe even a touch of inside. 9 ball. Oh my goodness. This game can be truly brutal sometimes. Looks like a tough ball to kick out of too, just because it's right up against the 9. See what Lloyd's able to come with. Yeah, he's having to elevate with a little bit of inside or right-hand spin from that perspective. Tough spot. Is the way it looks like he's aiming is he's having to aim clear into here, which requires low mass A. Gets the hit, but it may leave it into the side pocket. Here, they're asking if the 9 ball wiggled at all. All right, there was a little question there of the 9 ball moving, but it was determined to be with the shaft after the stroke. So it is not a foul. Another little benefit of EvoSports, being able to go back and see those moments and avoid any unnecessary arguments. Tough 6 into the 3 here, especially after a little bit of debate. He did it once, got to do it once more. Nice shot, nice out. All right, coming up next.
I want you to tell him that.
Billy appears to be ranking for Chad, I think. Drew is over there working out that rack, but he comes up quite difficult on the 9. He came with a clutch 9 just a minute ago with a bank. See if he's got it in him for another one. This is tough. Spot shot from the center of the table. Drew showing some real heart, coming with it in clutch moments, keeping them alive. 4-4, I believe. Chad to break. Is this 4-ball going to come in and ruin the day? May have taken away the cut angle. If it did, I think you can see enough of it to play the bank, but I think he's got the cut angle. If he does, he's likely to kind of play something along this line, which is pretty awkward coming at the 2-ball in any capacity. Could play it thinner and try and play 3 rails closer to the 9-ball. Yeah, I think he was definitely thinking about thinner there to just miss the pocket. Very awkward shot. Billy coming in here, that 1-9. Yeah, he's taking a look at it. It's always, when it's looking that juicy, it's hard to not at least consider it. It's a great. All right. Billy gets that game. Now we're going to be waiting for just a minute because like unless they want to skip pattern, because yeah, they are going to skip pattern. Paul is now going to rack for Billy. Over on table 4, Drew pushed out. Turner came over and took a look at it and says, "Go ahead." Billy to break. Cue ball getting kicked around a little bit, but it looks like it's going to dress up on the 1. It's kind of awkward. Can't just roll forward here. Well, I mean, you can if you're comfortable with kind of along this line and playing somewhere underneath of that 5 ball, I believe that is. But he's probably going to put a little draw on it and try and kind of slide up towards the 6. Gets a little rub. Gets on the 2. It's fairly straight, though, and the 3 being across the table. It's going to leave a very tough positional shot with a long ball up the rail. Trying to see what offensive options he could have. I mean, he could potentially roll forward and kind of go off of the rail into the 5 to play the 3 bank. Could just play safe here, but it's tough because side pocket, those points can really just catch that 2 ball. Let's see what he comes with. Just stopping it right there. Taking his medicine, taking what he's got and working with it. Can bank it. Has 2-way potential. Bringing the cue ball back over near where he's at. Could go full safety mode. With the take on a very tough cut. Did not miss it by very much at all. Paul's going to be coming to the table with fairly open rack. Just got to get good on this 6 ball. 3 leads to the 5 pretty naturally. Six to the 8. You just got to comfortable with your pattern. Pressure is mounting. We've been grinding at this tournament for 3 days now, or this is the 3rd day. Lots of pressure moments, lots of swings of scores and motions. You know, a lot of these players like Chad for sure has been out here all week battling through scotch. It's quite taxing on the mental faculties being in competition for that long. Turner's looking really well on his last 3 balls on table 4, while Paul is negotiating this 6. He looks to be playing the simple pattern again of rolling straight through the 6th ball. Somewhere along here, he can go to the rail and back out or roll this right up to it. Turner's got a little bit of a tester of a 9 ball over on table 4. Beautiful speed by Paul. Really nice shot from Turner over on 4, tying it back up. Very solid. Paul playing a very nice speed stomp shot there to be perfect on the 9. To be going down 1 to up 1. It's starting to get where nerves start tensing with every passing rack. All right, table 4, Chad is racking for Lloyd. On this table, I believe it's going to be Billy racking for Turner. Play a quick ad while he's racking these balls. Turner to break. Gets a ball down. Good look at the one in the side. But this 2-9. I think he's going to try and just fade the 8 or the 4 ball there and try and get into it a little bit. Does so beautifully to be able to get some sort of a look. You can't hope for much more than that with a breakout. Sometimes it lays really nice where it's all there, but this is a tricky rack because he's going to have to either bank this ball, cut it into the side pocket. Cutting it into the side, trying to fade this line, that's a lot of traffic. So I imagine getting there to get back through here and back out for the 3 is no small feat. So difficult that safety might be something that he considers. Or just back cut it like a, wow. Gets perfect on the 3. What a shot. Billy faced with pretty straight in 3. Probably going to have to be playing it with draw, coming back a little bit because doesn't want to get too far away. Wants to have a nice angle to maintain to get to the 5 ball. Let's see. It's difficult to see exactly how straight he is. Like it, keeping it simple, getting underneath of the 5. Or underneath the 4, excuse me. I think you kind of have to go something along this line. Long cut on the 4 up the table. Does that 5 go on the side? I don't think so. It might be just playing for the bank. Just took that shot for what it was without trying to get too fancy. Yeah, the conditions today have been ever changing. It was raining and very moist this morning. Now it's starting to dry up a little bit, which will change how the rails bank from being sticky to a little bit more slick where that bank will open up like it did. Turner lays down a nice stroke. Draws back across the face of the 6. I think if he can just stun up the rail and right in here. Very similar angle, just a little bit further to draw the ball back. Chad over on table 4 is working out this rack down on the 9. Oh, he elected to draw all the way back up and around. Turner did make 2 of these tough cuts into the side in the previous rack. This one's not as straight, though. It's got a little bit of a cut angle. A little bit more blind to the pocket. A little harder to visualize. Oh, just long. You're always excited to come back to the table, but then you look at this angle, and it is very tight. Your nerves are high after having to think that he may have just gotten out. Let's see how Billy handles this. No problem. Smooth as silk. All right, makes it 7-6. Table 4. Paul is breaking against Lloyd. In this table, we're going to see Drew racking for Chad. Chad laying down a very controlled break, ensuring a look at the 1 ball. It's going to be a little bit technical. Going to place his target zone coming back across where he places his Q-tip. He's kind of liking it right in this zone here. He's going to run the cue ball 2 rails, I imagine. Crossed and back out. Gets right in his area zone. Going to be a little bit hindered by the 6 ball in the queuing. Should be okay. Just wants to stun over along this angle here to hold for the 4. Really straight queuing is required to not accidentally impart any English. Does very well. A little unfortunate to get right on the rail though, because I think he would like to just stop right there. Now we might just slow roll it. Kind of hold a little bit of an angle for the 5. Cheat it to the left side of the pocket. Yeah, he wanted a good bit of angle. Now it's decisions for Chad where he wants to end up. Placed his tip in here where he's probably going to go a high inside ball along this line. Oh no, he really juiced that with some inside. Now he's faced with a very steep cut on the 6. Good news is you don't have to worry too much about speed as long as you don't end back over onto this side of the 7 ball. Should be able just to run the cue ball back and forth 3 times to ensure a nice fluid stroke. This is the critical shot of this rack. He did go 3 times, and he's just going to get enough. He might play this with a bunch of outside, letting it come here, long, down along this line. Or you could check it with some inside. He's checking it with inside, so we'll get rid of those lines. It's much easier angle to control and ensure a good angle onto the 8. Really impressed with Chad's game. He plays a very ensure no issues. Even if you get funny, it's still the out is available. Over on table 4, we got Paul working out those last things. I'm going to go back to that Chinook Wins commercial while we have just a minute here.
The spooky season approaches, and if you pick your poison and Chinook Wins, you can win up to $5,000. Collect points to play our kiosk game on Wednesdays and enter to win in our cash drawings on Sundays. Chinook Wins, where it's better at the beach.
Paul plays a great positional shot. Get perfect on the 9. Get them on what I like to call the mini hill, which is the game before the hill. Keeping the pressure on. All right. Now we got Turner coming in to rack for Lloyd. On the other table, Paul is going to be racking for Drew. All right. Lloyd the break. Oh, one ball is going to. Lloyd having kind of a tricky rack here to figure out what he wants to do with his open shot. All right, Turner taking on this push. Wanted to avoid the 6. Lloyd did well with the push out to make it juicy enough, but also tricky enough to get back at the table. Not that this is any easy shot here to take on. As long as you can fade the 5 ball, shape should be pretty guaranteed. Unfortunately, though, runs directly into the 5 and is going to find himself hooked on the 2. Someday soon. Amon making his trip back home. What a valiant kick from Lloyd. Really had to twist that ball. I mean, he was shooting it along this line to get it to really open up that far. And got some fortune not to sell anything too obvious out. Turner's going to be kind of faced with touchy safe. Wants to not interact with the 7 ball if at all possible. Use it for guaranteed. Yeah, that was tough being right on the rail like that to Lloyd looking to draw back near where the cue ball is at now. Ooh, gonna get some fortune here. Gonna be kicking at this ball. Oh my gosh. This finger tab thing is proving to be difficult. Gonna be kicking underneath of it, trying to create something to happen, but I think all three balls are gonna be in play. Oh, this is gonna turn out pretty juicy. Does very nicely to see how much. Yeah, that's gonna be so hard to kick at one rail. That's why Lloyd's immediately looking at the 2-rail kick. Hits it solid. Is going to give up a look at it. Paul on table 4 is working out kind of a technical rack. Lloyd is sizing up this cut into the side. As long as he can miss the 5, which should be pretty easy to do, and come back out a little bit for the 3 ball, should be in good shape. Gonna have Zach Zager jumping in. Hi, buddy. You can't hear me? All right, Drew. Oh, draws it straight into the corner pocket. Could be detrimental. Apologies. Everyone's starting to roll out and saying goodbyes. Lloyd's looking to solve these last 4 balls. Chad is racking for Billy.
There's not another one? I don't know how to set it up.
All right, Lloyd's really looking to draw this ball back maybe 2 inches at most, or he may have wanted to get an angle to run out. See what he's working with here. What a great shot. Super smooth stroke. Really worked the cue ball there to get out onto a nice angle onto the 8. He's going to look to stun across the table here. Does very well. That was not a lot of angle to work with. Got a little bit of a tester on the 9 ball, but he's made some good shots. He's favored to make this 9 ball.
We need to get set up for this.
I'll be back after this mini. I regret doing this. I beat Mike Gordon.
Lloyd with a very important 9 ball here.
I don't know. You tell me. 1 and 2.
Hits it sweet. Watch outside pocket. Catches the point.
Are you doing it yourself?
I thought she was doing it. We were doing it together.
Very clutch out from Lloyd there to keep balls and holes off of the
So she's in. I'll get it started.
off of the hill point. Sorry, I was looking out at the table, taking a look at Chad's position. He's got a tricky spot to be in over on 4, having to kick it the 1 underneath of the 3, it would appear. What a shot. Didn't really get the results of a return safety, but did not give up ball in hand either. That was starting to look
You're going to hear yourself or not?
Oh, we can hear you. You won't be able to hear yourself.
okay. Coming in here, Turner to break.
I'll come join you after.
Gets a nice break, but that 2 ball is going to roll into a position that's going to be hard to push out of. And you can always push the 6 ball into the 9, leave a thin cut, try and tie something up. The 2 ball is so close to the pocket, man. It's hard to find a good place to push. Might just elect to kick. No, he's pushing out. Might be going 2 rails at this, trying to put the cue ball by over by the 3. Well, I have a feeling he's going to get this one back, and he's definitely kicking at the 2 to try and pocket it now. Over on 4, Chad is sizing up a 2-9-8 combo to leave the 9 in the pocket to then follow up with another 2-9 combo. Very sticky rack transpiring over there. Really came in with a perfect speed to do so. It's going to put them on the hill, put the pressure on Drew in this wreck. There can be no more affording of any mistakes. Is this wired to the side? It looks like it's going high. Yeah, he's just playing. Oh, what a touchy little safety that was. He's going to give up an edge, but it's one of those where unless you can come with it and really pocket that 3 ball, Turner's down on it quickly. Looks like a bad hit. Now Drew with ball in hand trying to solve these 6 balls to keep their tournament life alive. Over on 4, Paul is racking for Billy. Sorry, I was asking a question there. Ooh, Drew finds himself a little bit of a tricky spot. Gonna have to probably play safe here. Wants to fade the 7 with the cue ball to have added protection. Oh no. Turner coming to the table. Cue ball goes a little bit long. Maybe he's trying to get underneath of that. Difficult cut inbound. Not that difficult, apparently. Nice shot. So he's got a couple different options he's going to be thinking about here. I know he shoots quickly, so he might just be looking to ride this 9 into the corner pocket while pocketing the 6. With that 9 ball, that will conclude this match. Balls and Holes is going to be advancing to the finals. That will be over on Creative on the Wire coming up here momentarily once they all get moved over. Great tournament from Undaunted. Great and solid. We'll catch you guys on the next one. I will be jumping in with Raw. See you soon.
The spooky season approaches, and if you pick your poison and Chinook wins, you could win up to $5,000. Collect points to play our kiosk game on Wednesdays and enter to win in our cash drawings on Sundays. Chinook wins, where it's better at the beach.